Today, we are diving deep into a huge question. How can any of us make a real difference when the world's problems feel so massive? Well, the answer might just be hiding inside a single word we think we know: faith. You know that feeling, right? You look at everything going on in the world, and you just feel completely overwhelmed. Like, what can I really do? It feels like your best efforts are just a tiny drop in a massive ocean. Well, if that's you, you are definitely not alone. This feeling of being too small, too insignificant, it isn't some new modern anxiety. It's a question people have been wrestling with for thousands of years. And this quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? We have this deep desire to bring peace and justice into the world, but we feel like we just don't have the power, the influence, the something to actually make it happen. So, when we're staring at that huge gap between what we want to do and what we feel we can do, our go-to reaction, our first instinct is almost always the same. We ask for more faith. We just figure, hey, if I could just get a bigger supply of this stuff, then I could finally get out there and tackle those big problems. And okay, this slide. This gets to the absolute heart of the whole misunderstanding. On the left, you see how we usually think of faith. It's a quantity. It's like fuel in a tank that we can run out of. But what if we've got it all wrong? What if the idea on the right is the truth? That faith isn't a thing you have, but a quality you live out, a relationship of trust, a pattern you share. We do this all the time. We talk about our faith like it's fuel. I need to fill up my tank, right? We think if we can just pump ourselves full of more faith, we can get this whole thing moving. But that's where the logic totally breaks down. And right here, this is where it all gets really interesting. Because when Jesus' followers ask for more faith, he doesn't give them a bigger tank. Nope. He gives them this bizarre, almost ridiculous image of a tiny, tiny seed with enough power to rip a tree out of the ground and chuck it into the ocean. Which, let's be real, makes you stop and ask, why on earth would you want to do that? It makes absolutely no sense. And you know what? That's kind of the whole point. See, this isn't a gardening tip. It's what you might call a pattern interrupt. He's saying something so absurd, it's meant to jolt us, to shake us out of our old way of thinking that faith is just a tool for doing magic tricks. And here's the mic drop moment. The crucial point is this: you don't need more faith. That tiny little bit you already have, even if it feels as small as a mustard seed, is already powerful enough. The issue is never about the quantity. Because faith isn't a substance. It's not a commodity. It's a relationship. It's all about the confidence and trust you build with others. It's a living, breathing dynamic, not some static thing in a bottle. And you know, this relationship, this pattern of living, it doesn't just pop up out of nowhere. It's something you learn from others, something you receive from your community, and then in turn, you pass it on. This is the perfect example. In the New Testament, you've got this guy, Timothy, and his sincere faith wasn't something he just cooked up himself. No, it was a pattern that first lived in his grandmother Lois, who passed it to his mother Eunice, who then passed it right on to him. Faith is inherited through relationship. It's contagious. So what does this pattern actually look like in real life? Well, it's pretty simple, really. It's built on a foundation of love and trust. It's fueled by confidence and hope, and it's put into action by constantly learning, living it out, and most importantly, serving other people. Okay, so hang on, because this is where it all clicks into place and gets, well, truly revolutionary. Seeing faith as a relationship isn't just a nice, warm, fuzzy thought. It's a force powerful enough to challenge and completely overturn deeply unfair systems. To show us what he means, Jesus tells a story about a typical master-servant relationship from his time, and it's brutal. A servant works all day long in the field, comes inside, and then has to immediately start preparing and serving their master's dinner. There's no rest, no thank you, no care. It's a system built on pure power and obedience, not mutual respect. But he's not telling this story to say, hey, this is how things should be. Not at all. He's holding up this broken, unjust system for everyone to see so he can completely smash it. It's what you'd call a rhetoric of reversal. The solution isn't to just make this unjust system a little bit nicer. It's to flip it completely, upside down. In this new pattern of faith, the one who has the power is supposed to be the one who serves. And this isn't just some abstract theory for him. He actually does it. By getting on his knees, taking the role of the lowest servant, and washing his friend's feet, he shows everyone what true faith looks like. It rejects power grabs and instead builds everything on mutual service, trust, and respect. Which brings us all the way back to that first question. If asking for a bigger quantity of faith is the wrong way to think about it, then what are we supposed to do? How do we actually grow? And the answer, it turns out, is so much simpler and more profound than we thought. You increase your faith by putting it into practice. You grow it by actively increasing your capacity to trust other people, to genuinely care for them, and to treat every single person with dignity and respect. It's all about the quality of your relationships. And that is why that tiny little mustard seed is so incredibly powerful. You don't have to move a whole mountain by yourself. The world is changed. It moves toward justice and righteousness, one small, relational, mustard seed act of faith at a time. So the final question isn't about how much faith you've managed to store up. It's about what you're doing with the faith you already have. What small act of trust and service will you plant today?